Hi everyone, welcome to Kids Paint Night. This week we are going to be doing a bunny, a spring bunny. I am Miss Cindy, and everybody should have a canvas in their bag and their paint and instructions. So the first thing we are going to do is take this round brush. I'm going to take some white on my plate, quite a bit of white because this is going to be the background color. So don't take all of it though, because you do need it for other things. And then take a little bit of the turquoise and make it kind of light to begin with. We can add more turquoise, but you don't want it dark. We want this more pastel. So that is a good color, just like that. That's what I was looking for. So the next thing is we're going to draw our bunny face on with the paint. So first thing, I made my bunny head a little bigger than I wanted to, so this one I'm gonna make a little smaller. I'm gonna start out with the, oops, don't wanna lose the camera. I'm gonna start out with this little part right here on his head to start, because that way I kind of know where I want to go from there. So I'm gonna just make a slightly curved line like that. And then, move my stuff over a little, I'm gonna figure out I want to go right about there with my ears and about there. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna make my ears. We're doing it in blue because that's the background color. If we were to do it in white, we would have a hard time seeing the bunny. So do your other ear now. Remember, point at the top, then it goes out a little wider and then comes back in skinnier. And then go ahead and do the rest of the head. Try to keep them fairly round. So just like that. When you are done with that, we're going to leave the middle for right now. Now we're going to paint the rest of the background. So go ahead and take your light aqua blue color and paint the entire background this color. That's why we had to use kind of a lot of paint to begin with, because it is the background and that's the most where you use it. You don't really have to paint any one direction for this one. Just try to give it a nice layer that looks nice and fairly even. Okay. See, we did the outline so then we could just fill in the middle for the rabbit. If you need to turn around your canvas, go right ahead. Just makes it easier for some of us. Try not to paint the background too thick. You don't want it really, really thick. Especially where the little chick on his head's gonna go. So we need that dry for when we put the chicken down. Remember, you always can stop the video so you can get caught up, or if you need it to dry for a while. Don't think you have to paint it exactly the same speed I do. Some people just paint faster, some people paint slower. Doesn't matter. Okay, so now once your background is done, we're gonna go ahead and paint the rabbit's face. Now, I would let yours dry until you do the white part. Otherwise, your white and your blue is gonna mix together. But I can't do that, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint the face and the ears all in white. And I'm going to try to keep it nice and thin. Don't want any lumps of white paint. Usually you can't really see which direction you paint when you paint with the white on the white canvas. But normally we try painting the direction of the object. So normally, because he's round, I would follow around like that. But like I said, since he is all white on white and you can't really see it, it's fine. And if you get a little blue in your bunny, don't worry about it. I know I went over there a little bit. That's why you should wait till yours is dry. Even though we're going to be painting pink in the middle of the ear, still paint the whole ear white. Okay. Now I probably missed spots on my bunny just because I didn't want to smear my colors. But it's all right for mine. Okay, so when you are done with that, we are going to make a little light pink for his ears. So make sure if you're using the same paintbrush, make sure you get all that blue out of there. And then put some white on your plate. Take some pink. It's up to you how light you want to make it, but we are trying to stick with lighter colors. So that's why I wouldn't use the pink straight the color it is. I think I have the wrong pink that you guys do. That's okay though. Alright, so go ahead and paint the inside of the ears. If those are still wet, it's okay if you don't mind the white streaks. I think it looks nicer. Yeah, this is definitely the wrong pink I grabbed for myself. Okay, let me put a little bit more in there. And it looks good when there's like streaks of color anyway, so go ahead and paint the inside of the ears. Try to do a little neater than I am. See, you just want to leave about that much space all the way around your ears. And then don't forget to make 2 pink cheeks. Now that's where I would do it circular when you're painting the pink cheeks on. That will look better. It'll look funny if you make it like side to side. All right. Go ahead and wash your brush off. Now we're going to take white. And there's two ways of doing this. My blue isn't dry, my chick is going to turn green. You can see that right now. Make sure your blue is completely dry before you go ahead and take some white and paint on your chicken shape. I'm going to do it even though it's not dry, just for time reasons. So paint your chicken white once your blue is dry. A little feathery tail. And the reason why we paint him white first is because yellow is very transparent and you'll be able to see through him way too much to the blue. Okay, we're going to let that dry. Okay, I am going to take a little bit of, you know what, I don't need to do it on here. Never mind. I'm going to put a little yellow, actually I am going to do it. Never mind. I'm going to put a little yellow down. Should have done this part first. No, you know what, I'll do it that way. Okay, and then I'm going to take some blue and only take a little blue at a time. I think I have too much, but we want to make green by mixing our turquoise and our yellow together. We don't want it quite this dark, but I'm going to add some white to it instead of more yellow. So I'm looking for a lighter. I was going to just take that blue, and I probably should have. It was already mixed with the white anyway. So I'm going to take some white, mix it with my green to make it lighter. Okay, just like that. Also going to put some more white on my plate. A couple more little dabs of white. Okay. Because besides the green and the pink, I'm also going to take some yellow and mix it with some white for the flowers. When you do this part, don't mix it in real well that you see no white and yellow streaks. Leave it kind of loosely mixed like that. And I'm also going to take and the other little glob of white, I'm going to take some purple and I'm going to do the same thing. Just kind of mix it loosely. Just like that. Okay. And I'm also going to take more pink and make my other pink a little darker. Just like that. And one more. There we go. I'm also going to do that with the blue. And I'm going to take more of the turquoise and mix it loosely with my other turquoise. So just like that. All right, so now those are going to be all of my colors. The only thing we mixed real well is the green. These are going to be my colors for my flowers. So you decide where you want your flowers and how many flowers you want. I think 5 is a good number for across the top because they fit just perfect. I am going to do the blue one like I did originally. So just take your paintbrush and make some flower petals. And if you get streaks of white and the darker color, that's kind of what you want. So they're not all completely solid. And I'm making my petals kind of curvy looking, just to make them look a little prettier that way. And just make sure you don't do your flowers too big. Just kind of go by the size of your rabbit. I'm going to do the middle one. It's going to be the blue one. Now I'm going to do the yellow one on one side. The yellow one will probably be the hardest one to see on here. So you don't want to make it too pale of a yellow. And if it looks too light, you can just go back with straight yellow with no white added and put a little bit more on there. We don't want our flowers to be real flat looking, so you can do it a little heavier with the paint on those because it looks nicer if they have a bit of a texture to them. So then I'm going to make a pink one on this side. Oops. And I did each one with 5 petals this time because I realized when I made my sample one, the ones with 6 petals, I didn't like the way they came out. I liked 5 petals much better. And the same thing with this one. If you don't have enough of the different variations in color, just go back with a little bit of your light, dark pink. Just go over it a little bit. Same thing if you don't have enough white showing. If it's too dark, you can just go on top of it with a little white and add it. So then the next two, the 2 outer ones, I'm both doing in purple. And if your petals overlap and touch your other flower petals, that's okay. Just be careful you don't smear the colors together too much. You don't want it to look really muddy looking. All right, next one. Kind of judging how close the flowers are and how I'm putting my petals to by the flower it's next to. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to use a smaller brush now. Okay, 1 second. Get some of this paint off my hands. All right, the next thing, once the flowers are done, and let them dry for a while. Make sure you're still recording. Okay. After they're dry for a while, because they are so kind of thicker in paint, so I would definitely wait. After that, we're going to go back and paint the leaves and paint little vines, the little like vine, that's what's holding your flowers all attached to one another. So do like a little green line between each of the flowers, like to make it look like they're connected together by a green vine. And like these two are really close together, so just put a little one right there. Turn it sideways, and then you want the little vine to come out on the end, and then you can make some leaves. Make your leaves however you want. This one I'm going to make 3 leaves on the ends. I'm also going to make like a vine coming up from here and put a leaf up there. And then over on this side too, I'm going to do the same thing. Just put 1 leaf right there. And then over on the end here, I'm going to come up with another vine. I think on this side I might do 2 leaves. It's up to you. Doesn't always have to be even on each side. All right, so there are my leaves. You can even put like another one coming downward if you'd like. I didn't on the last one, but I might on this one. There we go. Okay. So when your white chick is dry, which mine isn't, but wait for yours to dry. I'm going to turn this around so I could reach it better. Go back over it with just yellow paint, because this way the yellow will show up better. But make sure it's dry. Make sure your blue underneath was dry, because you don't want to end up with a green chicken, which is what will happen, because I can see mine trying to do that right now. And make sure you cover up all the white. You don't want any of the white hanging out from underneath. Okay, not too bad. You didn't come out too bad at all. All right. So now his little flowers are not done, but we're going to let them dry a little bit more. We have to still put the centers in. What I'm going to do now is use a skinniest brush I have. And I'm going to take black, and I'm going to do his face. So his little nose is kind of like an upside down triangle. It's kind of rounded at the points. And then a line, and a curve up, and a curve up. And he is got his eyes closed. So I'm going to put his eyes like that. I always do one side better than the other. Okay, and now his whiskers are going to come out of his little pink cheeks. Try to paint them on the skinny side, depending on what kind of brush you got. The same thing, when I do the whiskers, one side always comes out better than the other. It's usually how it goes when you're painting. All right, now your little chick is going to need some feet, well, some legs. He doesn't have feet showing, just 2 little sticks for legs. And he's got his beak open. And when he's dry, make sure yours is dry. Mine is gonna not work very well. Try to make a little thing like that for his wings. And his little eye is closed too. So just like that. All right, we're almost done. The only thing left is the center of our flowers. What I'm going to do is take a round brush I'm going to take a little bit of white. Make sure your flowers are dry first. And go ahead and just dab a little center right in there. Right in the middle of your flower petals. Make sure yours is dry because I'm spreading blue to all of mine. And just do it with white. And then when your white is dry, you could go back and you can, if you want, you don't have to, you can add a smidgen of yellow also. Add a little bit of yellow on there as well. You also, if you want, can add a little bit of extra color to your leaves by putting like a little yellow on there. Or you can make even a darker green and make a little darker green in there. Just to add a little different depth to it. All right, I think that is done. I think our little spring bunny is finished. So don't forget to put your initials on there. And I hope to see you next week. Next week's painting is going to be spring trees. So I'll see you then. Bye.